Okay, good morning, class. Is everybody in?
Morning,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Okay.
Morning, sir.
Okay, so today we'll be discussing comparison and contrast. I have already posted some videos on how to do the point by point and block type of comparisons. Again, so when we say point by point, you would have to discuss the two things in a particular area, okay, at the same time. Okay, so then you move on to the next area where you discuss both of them and another third area. So there actually you can have more than three areas, but for the sake of practice, we just opt to choose three areas of comparison. For example, if you want to compare Claude's Cafe, which is an a la carte restaurant where I used to work, and Jollibee. So you have to look for three things wherein you will have to compare them. So probably would choose what you would want to compare price. You would want to compare the type of service that they offer, or you would have to compare the type of food that they serve. So those were the three areas of comparison. Now, if you want to choose the point by point, so I would have to discuss Claude's Cafe and versus Jollibee in terms of price in one paragraph. And the second paragraph, I would have to discuss their type of service. So Claude's Cafe is a la carte, while Jollibee is self-service. Okay. So fast food. Then number three, I would have to talk about the kind of food that they serve. So Claude's Cafe serves European or American dishes, while Jollibee usually caters to fast food dishes like burgers, French fries. Even though those are not really Filipinos to begin with, but these are not something that we want to share on a special day. So then you make a conclusion out of this comparison. So that's point by point. But when you talk about block method, the same paragraph, I would have to talk about the three areas of comparison about Claude's Cafe only, or I will just have to describe Claude's Cafe based on its price, the type of service, and the type of food that they serve in one paragraph. I will not mention Jollibee yet. On the second paragraph, that's the time I will talk about Jollibee in terms of price, types of service, and the type of food that they serve. And then on the last paragraph, I will have my conclusions based on those observations. So nakuha ninyo ang kalainan. So katong sample na dito sa LMS, mali to siya. Kay point by point ang lesson, tapos ang sample na ko kay block type. So which is wrong. I will have to change that yet. Katulog ko kay gabi, wala na ako na nahimo. Okay. So at least clear sa inyo. Do you have some questions about it? Wala. So okay, let's proceed for the lesson. So this lesson is from our ebook. Okay, yan. Paki-unmute. Paki-mute lang dahil, sorry. Pareha tagi-ubo. Sig matakdan ng uban. Sorry. Okay. I would like to read this part. Comparison and contrast. This paragraph.
Sir.
For 10 points. Sige, please, Christine. Christine, proceed. Open your camera as well if you may. Si apelido mo, Christine? Alforque? Sige, proceed. Naka-mute yata ka. Nawala si Christine. I would like to take this part.
Ako, sir.
Okay, go.
Ako, sir.
Si Kuan. Homelo?
Jumelo, sir.
Jumelo, go.
Comparison and contrast is equally important as the previously target skills because it makes you think critically and ethically. There are lots of decisions in our lives that we tend to regret because of the lack of this skill. With the term itself, comparison tells us to get the similarities while contrast tells us to get the differences. As a student, you may ask yourself which is better to go to the library or browse net at home for you. Research this initials a list of both similarities and differences and then make wise decision where to conduct your library research for gender equality. For instance, you want to know the similarities and differences between a father and mother, or just like an essay question for your teacher which goes like compare and contrast the woman in the barrio and the woman in the city. In reading comparison and contrast materials, you have to know the basis of comparing and contrasting, in what way they are similar and in what way they are different.
Can you tell us, for example, about the differences or the contrast between women in the barrio and women in the city? Beneflor. Beneflor.
Yes, sir.
Three things lang. Three things that you observe.
Ano, sir, sa barrio, sir, ang woman, sir, kay kanang murag kanang ano kay sila, sir, baka tong murag karaan pagod kay sir kanang like kanang mahinhin like kanang dili kay sila kanang liberated like sa city, sir.
Okay, that's one thing. What else?
Ano, sir, ang ilahang pananamit, sir,
Okay, what
kay
about it?
kanang sa ano, sir, kay kanang tas diri man gud sa ato, sir, kay atong mga babae, sir, murag wala sila labot makita ilang panit, sir, bakay kanang syempre confidence daw, sir. And sa ano, sir, kay kanang maulaw sila nang makita ilang mga panit-panit, sir, kay kanang feel nila, sir, kanang ano sila, sir, kanang mura sila slut kana gud.
Look lang na sila mainitan. More na. Kiss bukid. Bitaw. So, and last,
Last sa pa man yung mga babae.
probably you can talk about so kaya, level of education or access to
Ayo anak po, sir, kay lahi man ang education sa ano, sir, sa province o sa city, sir. Masing ako ang pinsan na teacher, sir, ana siya, sir, lahi jud dito, sir. Kay dere sa city, sir, kay maski na anong good daw nila ang education gud daw, sir, dito daw, sir, kay kanang murag wala daw labot ang mga teacher sa ilang student kung nabay matunar or wala.
okay, exactly. Muna that really hurts. Pero di mo mabuday mo bang mga teachers good kay there are teachers na tabok pag pila ka sapa, sa kapag pila ka bukid, tapos pag abot dito combined ang tulo ka klase. Siya ra isa teacher. Mga yana na mga
Kinder to grade 6 ang ginatudloan, sir, isa ka teacher.
kage mo ana. Nahingana diya?
Ay, wala mo katry.
Wala po. Pero piyaman, no? Kinder to grade 6. Nangingana ng mga scenario which is really difficult to monitor each student's progress or performance. That's a very good observation. So that's an example of how you compare and contrast between two items. Okay, thank you. So, okay, paki-mute lang. Anybody? Make sure naka-mute yung mic. Okay, so read the following sentences. Okay, I would like to read this part. 1 to 5. 1 to 6 day. Okay, anybody? 1 to 5. 10 points up for grabs.
Ako, sir.
Sige, please. Castro.
Read the following sentences. Number 1. Both mother and father play a significant role in the values formation of their children. Number 2. Although researching in the web is practical and accessible, just like researching at the library, but still researching at the library provides you with arrays of collection which are credible. Number 3. The same with women in the city. The women in the barrio are now ambitious and gold digger.
Ouch. Sige, 4.
Number 4. The difference between sex from gender is the sex refers to the individual's anatomy of his or her reproductive system, while gender refers to his her social roles. Number 5. College life, unlike high school life, trains students to become more mature and independent. Number 6. Similar to Christians, Muslims do have their holy book named Quran.
Okay, so
Ano,
thank
sir?
you. Unsay mga na-notice nimo with those sentences above?
Nasa like answer different. Dili sila magka-same pero nasa like sa number 1, sir, kay both mother and father play a significant role sa ilang anak, sir, kanang ayang tudlo lahi ay pod ang tudlo sa papa. Every each sila, sir, na sila role sa ilang ano.
Okay, so sa number 1, it's not really a comparison. It's not a contrast, but it is a comparison. So when you say comparison, sana similarities. Muna both of them. So remember that. Even though sometimes comparison could also mean contrast na lang po, pero pag naaga ni ang duha ka terms, it means comparison, similarities na siya. So contrast ang differences. So next question. Thank you. Okay, so asa diri ang naay comparison? So naay number 1, kinay both. Sa pa ba? So number 2, sa may number 2. It's a contrast kay because of but. So number 3, comparison o contrast? Comparison because of the word the same. The same with women. So that's something they have in common. How about number 4?
Contrast.
Contrast because the difference. Ayan. Number 5.
Contrast.
Contrast because of the word unlike. Number 6.
Comparison.
Comparison. So mo ito yung mga keywords that you have to take note of. Similar, unlike, but. So, ayan. So, is or are the basis for their comparison and contrast clear? So, sa mga basis nila din. For example, sa number 1, ano sa basis nila for comparison?
Both.
Dili, basis. Ang role. Significant ang role nila. Ano ang basis for comparing. So, number 2. Kung sa gina-compare ang researching in the web and researching in the library. Maunang duha ang items pero unsa gina area of comparison.
Library, sir.
Ang iyang legitimate.
Ethical and accessible.
Reliable.
Dere collection which are credible. But still, library provides you with so morag ang ni reliability, no? Ang gina-compare. So ang kumbaga ang sa area sila ang tawag sa area nga gina-compare nila. Okay. So para gyud atong kuan price, type of food, mo to mga areas of comparison. Okay, so same with women in the city. Number 3. Ambitious and gold digger. So ang tawag ni mo ani description lang in terms of attitude. Attitude siguro ang area. So number 4, yun sa area of comparison nila dito.
Gender, sir.
Sex from gender, sir.
Pero si tawag ana, asa sila gi-compare?
Reproductive system.
Siguro more on dili ang tawag ani kayo refers to. So meaning it's a definition. So ang kalainan nila sa definition. So you have to look beyond the line, ha. Sabton jud ninyo. Tapos dito na ninyo ikuan i-label even though ang word wala diha. Pero you have to see to it na mao ni ilahang area of comparison. So ang difference daw is unsa may giimo diri ang sex i-define, it refers to the individual's anatomy or productive system. So definition is as a gender, as a sex. While ang gender, ang definition refers to social roles. Manang kalainan nila. Okay, number 5. Kasi tawag ni mo, train students to become more mature and independent.
Attitude yapon, sir.
Dili, college life man eh. We're talking about
Lifestyle, sir.
lifestyle. Not necessarily. Be specific.
Train, sir. Experience, sir.
Unsa tawag nimo ani? Unsa tawag aning train students to become more mature, independent in relation to college life? Unsa na siya sa college life? Una ang function. Pwede function, pwede purpose. So ang purpose sa college life is to train students to become mature and independent. Well, sa high school, dili man nga na ang purpose. Sa high school, kuan pa man kayo, spoon feeding. Diba napansin niyo? If you're not performing well, your attention will really be called and tutukan yung ka sa teacher. Hindi ka mabagsak. Abot sa college, will abot ang teacher sa imo na. But there are teachers who are considerate enough to check on you and attend to your individual needs. So you'd be grateful if you can find teachers like that. And so, but they are not required to do it. Okay, so number 6, similar to Christians, Muslims do have their holy book named Quran.
Religion, sir.
Not necessarily religion, but we're just talking about so may book lang man.
Holy book.
May tawagan.
Some belief, sir.
Kumbaga basis
Belief,
of
sir.
basis
Belief,
of
sir.
belief. Basis na siya sa belief ang Quran. Sa Christians, they have the Bible. Okay, there are some books. I'm attending a Bible study group today. Mostly mga OFWs na nasa US. But most of them naging US citizens na sila. Pinoy good yan. So, ang ginastudihan dili lang sa Bible, they also based from other apocryphal books. And even books na wala na appeal sa Bible pero na ay potential to become part of the Bible. For example, ang Book of Enoch. Wala man na sa Bible ang Book of Enoch. So, pero ginabasa nila. So, napay mga the Gospel according to Mary Magdalene, the Gospel according to Judas Iscariot. Na mga ingana na mga writings na wala na na-publish, wala na siya na-include sa Bible. Pero are they supposed to be read as well? Mga ingana na question. For sure, ang Book of Enoch sa panahon nila Paul sa New Testament, pinabasa siya. Kaya quote man siya ni Jude. Jude is one of the apostles of Jesus Christ. I-quote niya ang Book of Enoch. So meaning, ginabasa niya. So if ginabasa niya, ano hindi nato basahon. Nalanggot. So these are mga questionable items put about who really decided to put books and include it in the Bible. So nganong left out ang mga ingani ng mga scripture. Siguro ang explanation is they just came out later, na discovered na siya later. Nabuo na ang Bible bago ito nang gawas as original text. Pero we get a lot from reading these things. Basta tayo. Let's keep an open mind. You can even read the Quran if you want to. But always rely on your discretion. These things is tama ba ni pagka-interpret, or how do I apply this in my life? Okay, so you notice here also from the given examples that these vocabulary structures are there. So similarly, likewise, also both and not only but also. So these are mga conjunctions niya, no? Correlative conjunctions. Neither, nor, just like, similar to, and these are mga conjunctive adverbs. To be similar, or some of them are prepositions as well. To be the same as, to be alike, to compare to, or to compare with. Is similar to, both, as well, also. Excuse. For. Kaninga for, this is a conjunction. Okay, moving on. And so, how about sa contrast? You can read this part. Na lang. So, these are the structure for contrast. However, in contrast, on the other hand, while, yet, whereas, but, to differ from, to be different from, similar to be unlike, conversely, different from, as opposed to, or in contrast with. So they have two approaches. So we described na kanina. We have point by point and block method. We'd like to read the example here. Example 8, asa 8. Anybody? Sige, nakayapit na time. Volunteers for 10 points. Wala. Adungog pa ko ninyo. Wala na ko internet.
Dungog, sir.
Sige, be volunteer to read. Dili na mag-explain, basa lang.
Ako, sir.
Sige, go. Kursado.
Both Superman and Batman are heroes, but only one is truly a superhero. And taking into account their upbringing, motives, and criminal targets, that is Batman. Upbringing was not gentle for either. Hello, sir. Madungog ko, sir.
Dungog.
Padayon.
Wait, Superman came from Krypton, a planet that a planet that was about to self-destruct.
Sige, padayon. Until the end.
Eh,
Si problema na out daghangin. Or nawala ang net. Sige, I would like to continue.
Ako na lang, sir.
Sige, go. Thank you, Cruzada.
His parents sent him as a baby on a spaceship to Earth. There he would be adopted by an ordinary farm family. His adoptive parents named him Clark Kent and reared him well. In the same generation, far away in Bruce Wayne, the future Batman was born to a contented, wealthy family. Tragically, his parents were killed in his pe- in his presence during a mugging. He inherited the family wealth and was raised by his kindly butler. Those those very different backgrounds provided Superman and Batman with powerful but different motives in motives for fighting crime. Superman was programmed in his space capsule to know about the forces of good and evil on Earth and to fight the bad people. Unlike Superman, Batman learned from experience. Both have gone on to fight many bad people, but each one has a special enemy. For Superman, it is Lex Luthor who has studied Superman and knows all about him. Even i- Even his outstanding weakness, the mineral kryptonite for Batman, it is the Joker who was a weak teenager who was the was the mugger murderer of his parents. Many spectacular battles have ensued for both crime fighters, and one has sorry, and one has reached the top in his profession. Superman offers overwhelming physical strength against crime, but Batman displays cunning and base passion as he strikes fear in the hearts of the weak. He's not just winning; he's getting even. Most people would cheer Superman on. However, they would they would identify more with Batman, and he is the superhero.
Okay, ano mamanok? Ate ka na! Okay.
Sorry, sir.
Both Superman and Batman are heroes, but
Ano to? Insaron. Ayan.
Si
So,
Hazel, sir.
okay na tong kuan. Makita nimo they were compared first dun sa mga similarities nila. Then sa mga differences. Then tapos conclusion. Yan na lang structure niya sa paragraph. Pero it's a very long paragraph. Dapat ani essay na dyan siya. So, mas gwapo ni i-divide into 5 different essays. So we have the introduction, then we have the 3 areas of comparison. Kasi nga ni katag kay tanaw no. Lisod kayo sa i-determine kung if you are to write an outline of this, medyo lisod siya i-follow. So mas gwapo tong divided siya into different paragraphs. Pero anyway, sample lang ni siya of how it's done. So comparison sa nang gigamit diri but only monasteries motives. So ang i-discuss mo yung mga areas of comparison, ang upbringing, ang motives, and criminal targets. Muna siyang areas nga i-discuss. So if you are to write this as an essay, to 5-paragraph essay, or we call it 131, mo ni ang first paragraph, introduction. Second paragraph, you talk about their upbringing. So if you use the point by point method, so upbringing sa like this one, no, i-discuss ang upbringing ni Clark Kent o ni Bruce Wayne in the same tapad lang sila. Then after that, talks about their motives. Then gisgutan nila mga criminal targets, Lex Luthor o si Joker. Then conclusion. So point by point ni siya. If we are to do this as as a block block method. So the first paragraph, introduction, you can probably talk about a short discussion of their background sa first paragraph na. Pagka second paragraph, you talk about Superman first. Discuss na nimo yung upbringing, yung motives, and criminal targets in one paragraph. Pagka third paragraph, you talk about Batman. Talk about upbringing, motives, and criminal targets. Then, last paragraph, conclusion. So, ingato lang ang difference between point by point and block method. And that ends our lesson. Okay, do you have some questions before we dismiss?
Sir, katon sa forum, good sir nga compare and contrast, sir. Mamili ra mig own topic ato, sir.
Nabatoy ihatag topics ito wala. Murag wala, no? Pwede mo, you can choose. You can choose your own.
Thank you, sir.
Topics. And there are so many things na you can do originally. I know there are thousands of samples in the internet that you can find. Pero try to do things originally. Ma-practice inyo ang composition. It's okay to have to commit wrong grammar or other stuff. It's all right. Importante is you learn to do it by yourself. It's like learning to ride a bike. No matter kinsa pinakahawd magbike ang magtudlo sa imo, unless you sit down on the bike and experience how to do it yourself, did ka makatunog biking. Diba sa basketball, maupod how to dribble the ball. You cannot learn it by just watching videos. But you have to really experience it yourself. Other issues or concerns, questions? Okay, I stop the recording here. Stop sharing. And so it'll record.